Well, hello there from the trails of Newfoundland, because I've been away from it for 3 weeks now and I needed to be outside, so why not talk to you out here? I've also got my little buddy with me. There's my bug. Say hi, bug. He's just like, why are we stopping? Yeah, I don't know, entertain yourself. I just need to talk for a minute. Process update, oh my gosh. Well, the thing I need to be doing right now more than anything is reminding myself of all the good ideas and good processes that I've had in the past. Because life happens. Life happens, and maybe I had an idea that I'd be working for a certain amount of time every day, or I'd have certain chapters, drawings, outlines, writings done by now, but in the end, I can't control all the things that go on. And sometimes putting those things aside is actually the best option, at least for keeping myself in the flow of life and not feeling too pressed or forced or insane about it, because I'm really ambitious. Like, this is a big project. And so today I'm on the trails talking to you. Bug is running through the bushes, because I know that walking really helps me to just think things through, and to think things through without a ton of effort. And also because I needed to remind myself that walking on trails is a really good part of my practice. Not everything I do is working when work is being done. So I'm out here just staring at trees and reconnecting with the place that is an important part of my story, learning how to notice it, how to look at things that are not screens, how to be in the feeling of the moment with the wind and the smells and what I'm looking at that I might draw into the comic, and how I'm going to try to bring all of those things together so that my comic is something you can feel. So you can see Bug is pacing just like all around me, trying to figure out why I'm standing still and what he needs to do. But that's the thing. I decided to make this comic set in Newfoundland because I wanted a reason to soak it up and to put it somewhere, to feel it for myself, my own interpretation, and to honor it. And that's not Newfoundland, the province, the political entity. That's Newfoundland, the place, which has also been called Katumkuk, which is nameless in its existence. The land doesn't need a name to be here. And part of my process that did slow me down was realizing that I had my thoughts about involving indigenous knowledge of this land really changed when I was doing a bunch of reading last summer, or this past summer, of people proposing different works and seeing how they were or were not including their awareness of our nature as guests for people like myself, white settlers. And that oftentimes the acknowledgement of indigenous identity and history on this land is really small. And I guess I had that same idea. I'm not speaking well about this. Actually, when I feel that kind of shame well up, it's harder to talk about. So that might be why. But I had a similar idea of I'm going to put notes on the indigenous identities here, the indigenous histories in Newfoundland. I'm going to make sure that I talk to some people and have them review my work, and I'll pay them for that. But ultimately, the practice of reconciliation is so much bigger. And I felt like maybe even how I write and how I say the things I want to say and how I draw the land and how I connect to it could be changed if I did that work, if I went deeper. And so next week I'm going to First Light, which is a lovely community organization here, an indigenous organization, where they offer 8-hour indigenous cultural training days. So I'm doing that next week, and I'm really looking forward to it. It's going to be a whole day of basically school for me, except I know that it's indigenous cultural training, so I'm not expecting it to look like the very colonial school structure that I've grown up with and that I'm actively dismantling in my own work. I'm excited about that. And getting to know that stuff is going to help me then get to know the organization and make connections and look at who I might want to work with more deeply for my project to be an act of reconciliation as opposed to just acknowledging that it's necessary. So that's also where I'm at with my process, and I wanted to share that with you because I encourage you to do the same, to seek organizations in your physical spaces on the land that you occupy, maybe the land where you came from, and start to learn from them in a more active way, in a way that's a part of life as much as, say, our calendar holidays. Doing a training 3 times a year seems totally reasonable to me. Having hard conversations or reading challenging books or going to lectures or whatever it is that makes sense for you. Just being more active about it a couple times a year is exactly what I think I can manage, and I'm very excited for how that's going to influence the work that I'm making and the way that I'm being in the world. Another thing that I'm doing is considering some pretty insane printing mechanisms for getting this comic done. I think I'll tell you because you're the people who are here for my work and who might actually watch a 10-minute video. My thoughts right now are that I want to return to my very print-based roots. And I'm speaking with Marnie at Running the Goat Press, and I'm also looking at mentorship through St. Michael's Print Shop, because what I would really like to do is draw my comic in pencil, then print the pencil work in letterpress. This is already more work than anybody else would do. Print it in letterpress myself by hand, and then screen print spot color over it, because what I want is that like vibrant matte color to really punctuate the pages. So I have to run some tests, which means that my new plan, my new schedule for my work is actually to make my zero drafting of the entire book over the next 6 months or so. And then to choose images that are most potent, like the most powerful images that I want to spend the most time on, that I want to be the most beautiful, and then draw those images first, even if they're scattered all throughout the book. Then take those images that I've drawn and start testing with letterpress, start testing with the screen printing. And in the meantime, I have to remind myself how to do both of those things. So that's the, I'm not going to call it crazy plan that I have, but the very ambitious plan that I have that I'm super excited about, and that's what's informing my next steps. So if you've watched this far, you've gotten to know exactly where my head is at right now. But this is the first day that I'm back after 3 weeks of traveling and going to a comics festival and reading a lot of comics and thinking about my work. And so there's going to be a lot more to say come November, which is only next week. Oh my God, November is so soon. Anyway, you'll get another update from me then, and I'm hoping that I'll be able to show you some art, because by then I would really like to have some things on paper more than I do right now. So yeah, I'm going to do some character sketches today, and I'm going to keep reminding myself of my minimum baseline practice that helps me not feel pressured. And that's your update. I would love it if you had questions. You're very always welcome to ask me questions. And I recently learned that I've been getting comments on YouTube videos that I just haven't even seen. So I need to go back and answer those. But thank you for being here for my newsletter process update, long awaited though it is. And enjoy this beautiful view of a water pipeline leading to the ocean.